everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres, and if you think that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. I also have a coffee shop with signed paperbacks and swag, which you can also find below. So I thought that today we would do some questions from the writers in my audience. I have 10 questions and a bonus one, and I'm just going to get right into it. Number 1. Of the genres you write, what are the best sellers these days? Right now, my best sellers are my dystopians, and I think that's more just because they have a lot of disability representation rather than that's the popular genre right now. I really just go between what's being noticed and what's not. So the Invisible Quartet is selling quite well, but that's again I think more because it's disability rep than because the Sign of the Times is dystopian. But it chops and changes from time to time. It just depends what's in at the moment and what works for people. Number 2, has YouTube been good for business, or are other platforms better / more reliable for reaching new fans? It kind of waxes and wanes. Like, I post on Instagram every single day, I do a reel every week, and I get some notice from there, but I also get some notice from like Threads or Blue Sky or sometimes YouTube. It really just does depend. I'm all over the place where it comes to platforms and stuff like that, but that's just because I dip in and out rather than focus solely on one. And while social media doesn't sell as many books as you would like it to, it does bring the focus onto me, and I like that. Number 3, have you ever considered a different pen name for all your different genres? No, because I'm established now as someone who writes across multiple genres. I think it's possible to do where you have one pen name for romance and one pen name for mysteries and all of that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think for me it works to have them all under the same pen name. Number 4, do you find social media easy to navigate? How much do you plan it? This is a difficult one because I do plan it to some extent, and it really does depend on the social media and what I need to put into it. Like with Instagram, I have certain days that are certain kinds of pictures, and I do have to plan those in advance. But then there are other times when things will flow easily. With YouTube, I plan my videos in advance and I know what's going to go up when, and I film in advance. Like, this is being filmed in July, so I know that it's going to be ready in time for August. Social media is a beast. It's something that I could sit here and talk about tips and stuff and I would be here forever, but it's just something that you have to learn about what works for you and what you want to put into it. Number 5, do you ever feel like being organised to the extent you are gives you an edge? I think it gives me an edge against my own brain, but I don't think it gives me an edge over other people because everybody works differently, everybody works to their own limits and their own strengths, and I just know that organising for me helps calm the anxiety and also allows me to get some ahead of what I need to do so that I'm not worrying and leaving things to the last minute. But that doesn't mean that it works for absolutely everybody. It doesn't. Everybody is different. Number 6, when drafting, do you find it easier to organise, or have you managed to switch now you're revising? So when I first started moving on to revising and rewriting, it was very difficult to work out how I was going to plan things, and then I kind of fell into a way that worked for me. So drafting is easier in other ways and revising is easier in other ways as well, which I know sounds like a contradiction, but it's different ways. So when drafting, I know that I'm going to write at least a chapter every single day that I sit down to write, and that's fine for me. But with revising, I know that it's going to be a chunk of chapters, and that's going to depend on where I am in the month and where I am in each book, and the rewrites and such are going to depend on where I am in each month and where I am in each book, but it works for me. Number 7, is revision where your main focus is going to be now? For the time being, I do have 2 ideas that I want to draft next year, and I want to spend some time doing those, and then I think I plan to go back to revising just because it really has helped bring the books that I need to bring into shape, and it also allows me to branch out into different ways of working, which I really do enjoy. I was worried that I was going to hate it, but I've actually really found I've enjoyed it. Number 8, do you plan to draft again anytime soon? Yep, I think I'm planning to draft April to September next year, depending on how things work. But it will depend on the state of the current works I'm on, whether they need longer. I don't think they will. And then I will draft 2 more books, which have been burrowing around in my brain and growing and growing and growing. So we shall see. Number 9, how do you manage to juggle all the different projects? Practice. I say it like that, like it's really easy. It's not. At the moment, I have 4 drafting projects and proof edits to get done. And it really is just a case of me having worked out what works for me and organising myself so that I'm only focusing on one thing every single day, and it just allows me to get my head in the right space so that I can work things through. But I don't think it's something where someone just starting out should start doing, because it really does take a different kind of mindset and all of that. And number 10, how do you keep yourself on schedule even with the bad days? On the bad days, I generally don't work. I'm not someone that will push through and work no matter what. It's why I miss goals, because I haven't been able to keep up with the work that I've set myself because I've had bad days. And bad days happen to everybody. It's not just a chronic illness disability thing. And you just got to work out that some days you're not going to be okay to do things, and that's okay. You've got to take the time to rest, to recharge, and to look after yourself. So I also allow days off and catch-up days and days where I'm planning to do less anyway, so that allows me to keep somewhat on schedule. Sometimes you have to throw in the towel and say, okay, I can't do this, and that's okay. And the bonus question, do you have a way of organising social media? I kind of do, in the fact that with Instagram, I know which days I'm going to need images for, and then I know which days I'm going to already have images for. Like with my teasers, those are already made, they're already scheduled, and I know that they're going to go up on a Tuesday, and I know which Tuesday they're going to go up. I think at the moment I'm scheduled until like March, just simply because that's the way it works. With other days, I know that I'm going to need to make the images, and I make them a month in advance so that I have them ready there for the first of the month. A lot of what I do is having things a month in advance ready, just so that I know that when it comes to the first, if I have a horrible day on the first and it's a picture day, I don't have to worry about finding the picture. For Threads and Blue Sky, I basically just give people an update of my day on there. And that is pretty much one of those things that I do first thing in the morning. Whether I interact otherwise is up to my body and my mind and how I'm feeling. But generally speaking, I will post on there when I have something to report for my day. But it really is just about finding a way that works for you and going from there. So there we go. Those are 11 questions from the writers in my audience. If you have a question for me, you can shoot it to me over social media. I will usually answer it there and then, but sometimes I hoard them for videos like this. So where is your main focus working wise right now? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like, or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. You can also support me in my coffee shop, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. And don't forget to pre-order Cramming Chronicles, the 4th Torment, which is the 4th in a young adult urban fantasy series. And if you do pre-order, don't forget to grab the swag. And also, don't forget to grab a ticket for Sugar Pages in Bristol in November, where I'll be signing books. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.